Coming up, a lot to go through on today's episode. An athlete has been hit with an anti-doping violation, and it happens to be the current world and European Kata champion. The cadet, junior, under 21, and senior Oceania teams have been confirmed. An awesome Aussie Open recap, and another WKF and KC media deal for Cairo next week. But all of that has to follow after our talented friend, Good Fortune. Welcome back to the Kaizen Culture pod, where we are keeping the conversation moving within Australian karate. My name is Mitch Durham, here as always with Nathan Blockley and John Stainer. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be on Apple or Spotify, and we're also watchable on YouTube. Please give the podcast a rating as it helps us out a bunch. Now, there's so much to talk through today. We got to get into it. Ali Sofuolgu, I don't even know if that's pronounced right, Turkish Kata athlete. World and European champion, currently as it stands. Well, not currently as it stands, because he's been hit with an anti-doping violation.
This is a sad day for karate in general, but especially Shotokan Kata fans. Like, he's the first, as you were saying before, John, he's the first Shotokan world champion since, like, Luca Valdese.
It's a long time.
Which is a long time. Like
2006? No, it's 2004? When was the last time Luca won?
I think it was like close to 2010, wasn't it? Like 2008 or something. Or
8, 9 maybe.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's a long time ago. It felt like Ali was like a balancing of you didn't just have to be wherever to like win a kata. And now that's just undone.
See, that the people in the top powers, they don't like Shotokan being at the top. No. This is pretty serious though.
Very serious.
We're making some jokes, but it is very serious because this is something that keeps our sport and the integrity of our sport in check.
And before we also spread too much like shade, he didn't get done for doping.
No.
Like he didn't get tested and he was taking some performance enhancing drug and they proved that. This is a ban because he's missed quite a few random drug tests, yeah?
This is where it gets a bit funny. So this all happened in 2023. So 2 years ago, they've just decided this. So he's missed 3 testings. So 13th of May, and then the 21st of September, and the 11th October in 2023.
All 23.
Right before the World Championships. So he's failed to show up. It's called like athlete whereabouts failure. And WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, has sanctioned this because of those failures. But they haven't decided this until the 31st of March, 2025. So what's happened in the last 2 years? Why has it taken so long? What's decision making goes on? We don't know anything. You know, it's not even posted on the WKF page. There was an article that was going around like a PDF document with the WKF logo on it.
Imagine if it was doctored.
Imagine
it's actually a fake document. Could be.
It could easily be, but there's nothing around this. And where's
it's all very quiet.
It's very hush hush. Like when a couple of years ago, 2021, when Barman Asghari from Iran got hit with a ban. This happened at an event, a Karate One event. He was tested and he came up with some positive banned substances on there. And he was only banned for a year, but it impacted his Olympic selection. But the decision was made then. So what's happening now?
Yeah.
It's not acceptable.
No.
2 years, you knew before the World Championships.
Mm-hmm.
He competes, becomes world champion. Was the European Championships after that as well?
I think the European Championships was last year.
Yeah. So he's competed in World Championships, European Championships, and I don't know, a handful of Premier Leagues. In that time, it just seems ridiculous.
That's the part I really don't get is like why they couldn't test him at an event that he was there for. Like you can't avoid that. I get that these tests are put in place to catch you off guard or whatever. So like maybe you're taking performance enhancing drugs during your training in the lead up to an event, but then you leave enough time for it to get out of your system before you compete. And that's still against the anti-doping rules. However, like if you've got him in an event, you may as well do the test. If you're trying to chase him all this time.
But maybe he did do one at the event.
Maybe he did, yeah.
But he still missed the 3.
this is all just speculation at this stage because we just have zero information on it. Like I just got sent this 2 days ago by Sean.
There was something about Damien coming out and saying something about it.
Yeah,
was there?
so Damien, because he got second in both instances, right? He's on a reality TV show right now, like Survivor or like Love Island or something like that.
Is he?
Have you seen it? It's so funny. It's
I
awesome.
wish there's
Of course-
subtitles. I saw it without
Of
the
course he
subtitles,
is.
so I don't know what they're saying,
course
but
he is.
it looks pretty entertaining.
He's like obviously not knowing about this situation, but he reads it on the show, and you can tell he's just like, oh my gosh, reading it, la 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 la.
He reads it on the show,
reads it
like
on the show.
live air.
Yeah. Okay, Jess, you need to find the clip and put it here because it's so funny.
Okay, so I couldn't find the exact video that Mitch is talking about. I think it was either on his story or it might have been taken down. But here's a clip of him from Survivor. For those listening in your car or on the way to work, just picture a half-naked Spanish man wearing what seems to be elephant teeth over his neck in some sort of ancient tribal necklace.
He's always been second place.
Yeah, he's the bridesmaid.
Always the bridesmaid. We said it
he is now the
before.
bride.
Does it
wow.
count?
Yeah, of course it counts.
It
The guys
counts, but it's not how he would have wanted it.
No. I mean,
And then also, was it Kakeru Nishiyama who lost to Ali Sofuolgu in the semis?
Does that mean he's the third place bronze?
well, he's
first place
he's
bronze.
First
second.
place bronze, second.
First
No,
place
but you know
bronze.
what
He's
I mean.
second.
Like,
Is he second?
He gets a,
yeah,
he
he
gets a
is
silver
second.
medal. Or does it
But
matter?
should
No,
he
I
get
don't-
first? Like where he shouldn't get first.
would they do that
But-
though? Would they upgrade him to second?
Don't know how it works.
But like, what? Who says that Damien is better than Kakeru? Like
that's
they
the-
both got beaten by Ali just in different rounds.
That's always the argument of like second.
There's not much you can do around that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the argument. Like silver medal is the same as first place bronze
yeah.
because you lost to the same person.
It's just really
Yeah.
disappointing.
It
It's
is.
disappointing from Ali. I think. Like we don't know the full story,
No.
but for this to happen is really unfortunate for the sport.
Yeah.
And missing 3 tests without knowing his status rate does not look good.
Yeah,
No.
it's a shame, but the thing that's really perplexing is like the last 2 years. So all of those results are just wiped, including like results, medals, prizes, like money, anything that he's gotten through there. It's just been wiped from the 11th of October, 2023, which is the last test that he missed, up until a week ago.
That's crazy.
And now, if it gets upheld, it means that he's now continued another ban for 2 years. So he's suspended until 31st of March, 2027.
That is insane. So you're wiping out 4 years based on maybe it was supposed to just be a 2-year ban, but because of the processing time, he's been competing, but those results
It's
get
really-
wiped. So it's like 4 years that he gets no credit for.
Was it meant to be? Did they deem it a 4-year ban and go, well, you've already missed 2, so we'll give you 2? Or
Maybe.
like if they deemed it a 2-year ban, this is really harsh. Like in the fact because it
shouldn't-
is 4 years now.
Yeah, he didn't test anything positive, so you wouldn't think it'd be a bloody 4-year ban for that.
But John made the argument of if, like, Barman Asghari got tested for a substance that was, like, graded whatever it is, but Ali could potentially have something that's graded up here in the
Yeah,
system.
I
so
think if
he's
you
dodging.
miss tests, it has to be one of the more severe, because otherwise, if you know you're doing something bad, you'll just miss the test
True.
and cop the lower punishment. I don't know. You just can't.
No, I get that. That
The
makes
system and the
perfect sense.
testing has to be above everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've always thought WADA and that is always they operate very differently to like the rest of Western society, where it's like innocent till proven guilty. They're just like you're guilty,
Yeah.
and then you can appeal afterwards. There's always like in sports, you've seen it with like a lot of things like Sinner and all those cases. They're just like this is what we think, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, you would have thought that this would have been done internally in terms of the appeal, and then they come out with the public knowledge that yes, he's
sure-
been banned and it's been upheld.
I'm sure Ali would have known about this being on the cards for a while.
Yeah, but maybe this has been happening in the background for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but if he gets the chance to appeal,
Yeah.
should that be internally instead of like is this the first time that WKF have actually slapped him with a ban? You know, and he knows that, and now he gets the chance to
There
appeal.
will be a chance to appeal.
21 days. So I don't know whether that's like...
I mean, shouldn't he get 2 years as well? Like
Oh, that's a good argument.
21 days, they took 2 years. I don't know.
Who
The
knows?
2 years thing is the worst bit about this.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
The thing that I just don't get is, not don't get, but I'm just like, there's no coverage of this. There's no knowledge of this at all. There's like one like blog page that's like a karate information news
You heard it here first.
thing. Yeah, well, it's just like, but then they're saying down here, which is quite interesting, saying that Ali's medals and stuff get stripped and all of that, but the Turkish team that got silver in the Europeans and the World Championships doesn't get affected. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's just what's written here on this. I mean, this is Inside the Games. .biz is a pretty, like, they've been reporting from WKF.
But he was
for
on the
ages.
team?
He was on the team, yeah.
That makes no
That
sense.
makes no sense.
It says World Karate Federation. This section is powered by WKF. So, I mean,
This is now the worst thing about this. How can you ban his individual result but not his
Yeah.
team result?
I don't know whether that's 100% true or not, but I mean, it's written on the internet, so it has to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's wild. We'll see what like surfaces in the next few days because this is like pretty much brand new information.
So breaking doping rules is allowed if you're in a team, Kata. Does that mean team fighting's allowed too? Like, it just seems odd.
Yeah,
you
for-
either
for-
broke the rules or you didn't. You can't have a team of two if he's not eligible. for
Yeah,
his results.
imagine if it was Kumite and Ali was like the last to fight and it was the deciding fight.
Yeah,
And
what
they
if-
won because of that, and then he gets banned, and then you say what? It doesn't affect the team.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right though, right?
It doesn't sound right that the team
Yeah, it gets away
results
with
would
things.
stand.
Yeah.
The fact that it doesn't sound right makes it very possible, given how some of these things go about.
Anyway, well, I mean, probably not much more we can talk about that because we don't know much about it. But I mean, it's just super sad that this has happened, and we hope we can just get some clear information around it.
Yeah, we hope that maybe Ali's his appeal goes through and it doesn't actually get impacted, like he's not banned
Yeah.
for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And he's got some, I don't know, religious reasons or
Anything.
some legitimate reasons why he missed these test dates.
Yeah, because you can file for like a because we get, I'm not sure how it works, but like with WADA, because we have ASADA, which is the Australian.
Yeah, tell us how you've been dodging ASADA, Mitch.
Yeah, so I just basically like tell them I'm in another country, and then but that's pretty much what it is. Like I've contacted them a couple of times saying like, do you need to know where my whereabouts are, my schedule, and they say don't worry about it. We'll let you know if we need your schedule.
And then you've missed a couple just by
Yeah.
coincidence.
Yeah, I've been working or teaching or whatever like that. It's happened with a lot of the Australian athletes. Like they say, oh, they're just at the dojo or whatever, and they just say, okay, we'll come back another time, and it's just not a big deal. I don't know whether that's because karate's not a big high profile or high priority for ASADA, but that's just how it's been worked. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Australian Open, big weekend.
Huge weekend.
It's always a massive weekend, and then they tacked on the Oceania qualification on the Thursday, so it's essentially like a 4-day event.
Sure.
It was wicked.
You had how many fights, Mitch?
I had 11 fights.
11
Over
fights
the
across
weekend.
like Thursday and then the Australian
Yeah,
Open.
Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. It's wild. I saw some other people. Some juniors were having like 8 fights as well. Like the juniors division, the divisions are massive again, which is great to see.
It is, yeah. So I think men's 75 had 18 people.
Yeah.
And then I think Take 84 had 16 people.
That's so good.
Open was like massive even after people pulled out as well.
Yeah.
It's just wicked seeing all of the young kids divisions still with the same numbers as well. Just I think it's just shows like the sport is still like pretty powerful in its numbers.
It's a very good sign for karate.
Yeah.
And the juniors coming up, like the juniors are such high quality and they're big events as well. So you see the seniors divisions looking really strong in a couple of years' time when they do come up.
Yeah, that's so good. There's not really much we can chat about with the Aussie Open. I mean, like, it was good to see the media rolling around, like the photos. It's always the same. Like, it's just a high energy tournament. Like, it's probably our best. I would say it's our best tournament. Probably
Best
now-
Oz Open.
Best Oz Open, you reckon?
I reckon Best Oz Open. Like the layout was fantastic.
You like the marquee?
It created more space within the venue, having the marquee. So
Is the marquee like a warm up?
yeah, and it was relatively big. Like some divisions did struggle with the amount of athletes warming up in there, and it was quite tight. But also, it's quite similar to like some Series A's and youth leagues and stuff. It's super crowded, so you need to be able and ready to warm up in those sorts of environments. You can't use that as an excuse. But taking it would have been like 200 square meters out there, probably 20 by 10 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 200 square meters that wasn't in the venue. So the venue had a lot more space for spectators and all of this. Probably would have liked to seen a little bit more seating, but that's a hard thing to do. It was, the layout was fantastic, and it was all 5 mats in a row as well, which is great for spectators. They don't need to keep moving around the venue to get to little nooks where they can actually see a mat. I really liked the layout of the Aus Open, and the scheduling was pretty good. Like, I think Saturday, Sunday ran relatively flawlessly. Friday was a bit rough because they had some significant sport data technology issues because they started using the buzzers. So that was, it's unavoidable, but it does, impact the scheduling. I think there were some events that were like an hour to 2 hours behind.
Sure.
I think it was the junior Kata female on Friday. They broke in the middle of the division for lunch.
Really? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so they did like the first round and a bit of Kata, and then I think one of the referees came up to the girls and said, "Hey, girls, we're breaking for lunch. We'll be back in half an hour."
Hungry.
And the girls were annoyed,
Yeah,
very
as
annoyed.
you would be. What the hell?
Yeah, but I think it was like if they didn't break then and there, they wouldn't have got lunch. They
Yeah.
wouldn't have got a time to have a break. So it
I'm not
was
watching
a
one more
necessity.
Super Unpaid till I've got something in my stomach. It's pretty much.
That's
think
one
so.
thing as well. Like, I was chatting to Beck about it, so a referee from our club, and she was there all weekend, and no breaks. Like, unless you got to go to the Kanza, and that's, I can understand as well. Like, Kanza's messing up because they're rotating so much through it's just like referee, judge, referee, judge. When you get to the Kanza and you're sitting down, you're just like, oh, but you have to focus, obviously.
Yeah.
But there was no rotations. Like, I mean, it's just the numbers of referees that they don't have. They've got enough to supply maybe one person having a break. You can run to the toilet and run back. But yeah, they must be so drained all day just watching karate, judging, thinking, but trying to be performing at that high level.
Can't imagine by the end of Sunday,
No way.
especially if you were refereeing, there would have been referees on Thursday.
Thursday as well, yep.
4 days in a row.
Yeah.
It's a long time. And we were talking about how the athletes are coming up and the numbers are getting better and the quality's getting better. I know it's obviously a main focus for Karate Australia to develop referees, but that needs to be a thing. Else, in 2 years, we won't be able to facilitate a tournament like this if we have some referees leaving,
True.
and we have no up-and-comings. So
Do you want to be a referee, John?
No.
I wouldn't mind being a referee.
I reckon you'd be a good referee.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't hate being a referee at all. I think I'd be a
I
good
think you'd
referee.
suit the
Yeah.
attire for sure.
I see everything, though. I'd be a great coach.
I'm not sure I agree on that.
I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face. I'd see a point, or I'd be like, oh, no way.
I've seen you on the side of mats. You
no,
react for anything.
Too animated, don't have a poker face. But yeah, that's something I don't know, putting a message out there to the people that listen or are involved in the community, we need you. We need some more referees. Just reach out and ask current referees how to do more and what you can do. And I know there's so many little seminars around. I think I just saw the other day that Adam Minster put up on Karate Tasmania that they're doing a little workshop for referees sometime soon.
Cool.
Obviously, not everyone's in Tasmania, but it's another thing there. Hopefully we can just do more of that sort of stuff. And
I remember last year seeing, was it Adam or someone did there was a live one from Victoria or New South Wales. And so I know some of the referees here were watching it. Just it was on Zoom or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Doing more of that, provide that education. If you're going to do it anyway,
Yeah, that's
just-
a good. Yeah,
just
put,
open it up.
Yeah, put it on stream and then air it to the rest of Australia.
Yeah. The young referees, I think I don't want to say there's not much Karate Australia can do about it, but it's very much a grassroots thing. You've got to encourage from the club, but also the states need to be very much fostering young referees. That anyone that's keen at this point.
Yeah, I think for young referees, it's great to be paid as well. I know there's a lot of people in the community that's we'd love to see pays for referees, and I think it makes sense. You're volunteering a 10 to 12 hour day on a Sunday, and you're not getting anything for it. It's hard to justify doing that consistently unless you don't love it.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
You've got to love it. But then you also need to show them what career you can have as a referee, because it's pretty impressive the stuff that they do. And we talked about last podcast how at the top the pressure is just it's equal to that of an athlete.
Insurmountable.
It's insurmountable. It's
Insurmountable.
yeah. So you can have a full career
Yeah.
as a referee, and you can travel the world whilst doing it. And when you do start traveling, you actually do get funded. So there's
Apparently, I got slammed for this. Man, every like referee came up to me and says, "You know that we don't get paid. You know that and I'm going to get a sanction. I'm going to get a fine. I'm not getting paid, and you're going to fine me." And I'm just like, "Oh, I thought
Some of those flags were slow out for your points on the weekend.
I
Maybe
really
just like
messed
this
up.
guy.
Man, we messed up because
There's
No, I
funding
don't
at
think there
all.
was a we. I think he was the one
No,
that said the ban,
no.
the fine, and we went. They're not even paid. Don't lump us in.
it was a collective." But yeah, everyone.
Well, I'm saying
even-
now that they're getting paid. So
A lot of the boys, they said, "Oh, pretty ballsy to speak about the referees before you need to compete at the Aussie Open." And I was like, I wasn't actually saying anything bad. Like, I was super supportive.
Don't drag us into this.
We also thought that.
I thought for world championships, especially if you're going for an upgrade and stuff, that you get paid. Like
No, I think like Con was telling me, like, in history says, like, didn't get anything covered, like maybe a couple of little things covered here and there, but like nowhere near as what we thought. I thought maybe they got.
I think
some
it's
sort
more
of
the
allowance.
AKF sometimes covers, but not the world.
Yeah, so
Not the world. I don't think.
maybe we need to get some of the referees on here to chat about it. We'll chat.
they need to be supported.
Are you going to pay him to come on?
I think even more importantly, and we didn't chat about this because we didn't have like specific knowledge about it then, but the Commonwealth Championships that was last year, there was definitely some questionable results, and we didn't have any Australian referee representation. So there was nobody on that side of the fence to argue against the other referees and the decisions. And you could argue that a solid referee like, I don't know, an Adam Minister or Sean or some world referee at that event could have resulted in 3 more gold medals
So
for
we had
Australia.
0 referees there.
We had 0 referees at Commonwealth.
Really? But is that like is that a personal initiative thing? Because like if it's like, you know, these referees, they don't get paid, they don't get funded, they don't get anything, so they're just doing it out of the pure love and like
Sure.
you
Quite
know,
literally.
care for the sport. So they're like, well, I'm not going to go to wherever and
No,
pay
if
all
they're,
this money.
yeah,
and
if they're
just
not getting
show
paid,
up,
they're not
you
going.
know?
So
Because
they
at the end-
need support because we've heard of referees who would have done that event.
right.
You know, we're not going to name names, but there are
where
referees
does that
who
come
said I would have done this event if I got like at least part of my trip covered. You know,
Where does that come from?
Karate Australia, it's got to. It's hard because their budget's so tight, and you see that in their financial reports, like their expenditures and their income, like they're so close, so they don't have a lot of room to do this sort of stuff. And like last year, you had Commonwealth, Junior Worlds, and Senior World Cup. So you had 3 major tournaments at the tail end of the year. So we 100% get that budget is tight and it's hard to justify a lot of these things. But that I think that was a bit of a lesson in that there needs to be Australian representation, especially at those sort of events. Because the other thing is, like, if it was that referee would have resulted in like 3 more gold medals, then that is worth it to send a referee and finance a referee, because that does wonders for you when it comes to looking at government funding and all of that sort of stuff, saying we got 6 gold medals instead of 3 gold medals. I don't actually know how many gold medals we did get at
I wonder
the
what the
Commonwealth.
government. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Surely, like, there's a thing for Australian sports, because like sports must face this all the time with like funding referees to go. Because like, I can't imagine all referees or like officials from all sports get paid and stuff like that. So there must be some sort of like initiative from the Australian government to help facilitate that.
There's got to be.
I don't know.
Not sure. We seem to also need a high amount of referees, right?
It's
As a
quite a
sport,
lot.
Oh, generally,
we need a lot more than other sports.
Well,
it
yeah, it looks
seems
like
like
basketball,
per-
it's just like 2 for the whole match. You know,
True. Even judo, it's 1 referee on the mat.
yeah.
is it?
Doing
There's no like.
I
other
think
people
they've got
watching?
like a side person maybe looking at organising something, but in terms of scoring points, timing, all of this sort of stuff, it's all on 1 referee.
Well, because we need like what 7 per tatami for kumite, and then
Minimum.
what's kata?
Because you need the tatami manager, and then you need like
4, 5, 6,
a spare
7.
for rotation, I imagine, at least.
I think that's 8 for rotation, and then like what's kata? How many people sit on the panel?
No one has
six?
counted that. There's no way of knowing.
I just see
Seven.
so many
Seven.
people sitting
By the
down.
time I get to
7.
the end, I've lost count. To be honest.
Anyway,
Bit of a sidetrack.
yeah, that was not even meant to be talked about on this
Yeah,
agenda.
no, natural though, because we always want to talk about our referees.
Yeah, but I just want to make something very clear of all the referees that came for me last weekend, and all the athletes. Like I think Tommy came up to me, Tommy Olsen. He said, "Yeah, you really wanted to stuff up this Oceania selection, didn't you? You wanted to talk
Hard mode.
Yeah," and I was like, "No, like it was all just about like trying to get them more, I guess, exposure and talking about like the referees exposure." I'm just saying words now. I'm screaming.
He's digging.
But no, but 100%.
down,
We've
Mitch.
never talked bad on referees. We've always just said how underprivileged they are in the community, like how anything that goes wrong, it's their fault.
Yeah.
In terms of the community.
And these chats are us like spitting ideas and thoughts.
Yeah.
You know.
That's all we can do. We can't do.
Bleep.
Can't do
Do you want to bleep that, Jess, please?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's time for a break.
It's definitely time for a break.
Okay, we are back from the break, and we have a big, long list of the Oceania team that has just been announced. It's confirmed from the weekend, which was from the playoffs, the qualification event on the Thursday, and then all the other results from the weekend for the cadets, juniors, under 21s were decided on the weekend of the Aussie Open. And they've also announced the 2025 Oceania Karate Cup, which is just the additional event attached to the Oceania Championships that anyone could nominate for and go towards. So that's been announced, the team as well. So there's a big long list here. Do you want to chat about anything beforehand, before I start?
No, you go, rattle them.
Locking in?
Let's do it.
Spitfire.
All right, now I really apologise if I get some names wrong. Please don't come for me. 2025 Cadet Junior Under 21 Oceania Karate Championships. We have Erica Lowe, Rebecca Wabobo, Zara Tay, Nyosha Mohammadi, Emily Newen, Stephanie Domovska, Hayden Pingran Maru, Andrzej Arsoski,
Nailed it.
Kento Oiwa, Hayden Reyes, Dylan Fisher, Zachary Tay, Lily Heron, Angela Jovic, Lucy Choi Lawrence, Scarlett Orange, Crystal Pham, Sienna Downey, Tatum Heber, Olivia Cunningham, Sophia Innes, Nikki Guan, Nyosha Mohammadi again. Wow, double selection. Congratulations. Lucy Maggio, Lois Lidgett, Jessie Rose Talbot Cook, one person. Casey Cameron, Mia Vrumans, Eleanor Sanders, Mia Heron, Charlotte Eads, Tanisha Theodore, Sophia Dew, Delara Mostafidze, April Sweeney, Anastasia Altamura, Kiri Renee Sundin, JC Coote, Liam Johnson, Joseph Scully, Danny Wiriasada, Sebastian Hamwood Barry, Angus Wiriasada, Darden Jehu, Seth Puddy, Jack Stosius, Matthew Riley, Caius Rose, Cameron Quinn, James Simone, Alexandros Bervanakis, Riley Frederick, Justin Robbins, Aston Barrett, Aidan McDougall, Sean Go, Thomas Kern, Stephen Cameron, Leonardo Rizcala, Thomas Perry, Hudson Maggio, Willem Heiber, Thomas Van der Riet, and Felix Stewart.
Congratulations. That was
Well
good.
done, everyone.
Well done, guys.
Well done, Mitch. Well done you on getting through that.
Thanks. I worked hard on pronunciation, but no, this is all these guys. So I think the decisions from the qualification for this happened from the results on the weekend. So it's like,
And last couple of years, right? They normally look at.
I think it was literally just whoever finished higher
Okay.
at the Aussie Open. So like if you got a medal or if you placed with the person that nominated above you, then you go.
Cool.
Yeah. So some of the divisions only have one. I think maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions only have one, but everyone has two. So congratulations for that nomination. That's so cool.
That's a hell of a team going over. Like I'll probably recognise 95% of those names. And
Yep.
we'd be feeling pretty good going into these championships against New Zealand, Fiji. No, I don't think Fiji.
Maybe not Fiji, but Newcal.
Newcal.
Maybe like Solomon Islands.
Yeah, Solomon. Yeah,
They always show up.
they do.
Yeah.
It does feel like one of the, like we've been saying it, but the juniors is probably some of the strongest we've had
Yeah. Some
since
of these,
we've been around.
Some of these kids are so good. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so congratulations, and we look forward to seeing, the team announcements and people getting their tracksuits, so the ones that haven't got that, because that's always such a great moment for some of these first-time national representatives for the Oceania Championships. That's awesome. The senior Oceania team. So this was decided on the Thursday, seed 1 and 2. So we've got Emily Newen, Stephanie Domovska, Kenzo Oiwa, Dylan Fisher, Kata representatives. For Kumite, we've got Mia Heron, Celia Tran, Georgie Lawrence, Charlotte Eads, Iris Webb, Jelena Kalejic, Laura Golding, Olivia Clifford, Hannah Sullivan, Crystal Boyce, Declan Squire, Michael Liang, Rory Attridge, Stephen Cameron, Mitchell Durham, Ben Harvey, Max Noble, Jonathan Freund, Daniel Thielen, and Angel Georgiev.
I haven't heard Angel's name in a while. Is he back?
Yeah, he's back. He's fighting good. It's good to see him on the
So
weekend.
good.
Yeah, I'm back on the team.
Yeah, no Ali Lorenz either. She'd taken a break or something, I think. I didn't see her at Aus Open.
Was injured. She
was injured.
Is injured.
Yeah.
So hopefully she can get better soon.
Another strong team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so keen to see
Ridiculously strong.
the team event attached to that for both Kumite and for male and female.
Tough to
Kumite.
pick for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the winner of Oceania determines who goes to Worlds.
And that's a big one as well. So, the Thursday was to determine the top seed. The first seed gets the points. I don't really think it applies to. It doesn't really matter too much unless you're trying to go for Premier Leagues, which is sometimes it's better that if you do get the second seed, so you can just go to Series A. We've talked about this before. But then, more importantly, the winner of Oceania goes to the Senior World Championships
Next year.
this year.
This year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Huge pressure.
And that's something we'll talk about.
I love that.
in the
I'm
future.
actually liking it. It's a lot more like
Yeah,
based on
it's
how
good.
you compete. It seems up and down the board.
Yep. And then we've got the 2025 Oceania Karate Cup. So Ariv Naidu, Aaron Frood, Adam Smith, Ariane Wellings, Billy Zamet, Chloe Madaferi, Cooper Black, Damien Podkas,
Podcast, yeah.
sorry, Dana Mostafizadeh, Daniel Schlimak, Dion Risborg, Amelia Fiketa, Emma Lowe, Emma Martinson, Erica Horton, Isaac Martinson, Isaac Yonmaru, Jack Barnes, James Davis, James Sanders, Jason Gumersa, Jason Salloway, Jet Martin, Catherine Griffiths, Kelvin Ewan, Lachlan Nettle, Lachlan Smith, Lachlan Yee. I organised this in alphabetical order, as you can see. Lenny Lucas, Leo Prinsloo, Leon Sandys, Lorna McClory, Mia Chan, Miller Wright, Molly Elwood, Mohammed Iswan, Nell Lidgett, Orlando Zaddle, Owen Timms, Ramon Tang, Reese Pryor, Rodney Smith, Rutaro Ito, Shanice Theodore Sion, Sion, Sion.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Sion. Sion Flaherty, Stephanie Goal, Taishiro Ito, Theo Sandys, Trent Eads, William Fong, William Sharp, Xavier Marashek, Yvette Stolk, and Zachary Belfort.
They make it hard on you, don't they, Mitch? They really do.
There's a tongue twister moment there
So
in the middle
many,
with all the L's.
Well done, guys. First of all, Xavier Marashek came to the camp last year, and I think I mentioned to him at the camp, I don't know what happened, but I said if he punched me or whatever, I'd mention him on the podcast, and I didn't.
Oh, Justin would have been annoyed about that.
Yeah, they kept hitting me up. So this is the mention for you, Xavier. Sorry, it's taken this long.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the Oceania Cup team, so congratulations to that team there.
Yeah, and well done for making the leap to go to this tournament as well, because it's not an inexpensive trip. Newcow's, it costs a bit of money to get there, and the accommodation's not that cheap either. But it's definitely, I hope it's going to be worth it as a tournament. So it's, good on you.
Is it New Caledonia? It's confirmed.
Confirmed.
Isn't there some stuff going on there?
There was. I don't know if there is now. I think it's settled down.
That was where my first international tournament was.
Was it?
New Caledonia.
Cool.
Oceania.
Is that 1992?
Bleep.
I was 1 in 92.
Low-hanging fruit there.
Oh, I love
Low-hanging
it. Sorry,
fruit.
John.
That's
All
all
right. So we'll move on from the Oceania Championships and the Oceania Karate Cup. We'll talk about it when it's coming up closer to. But one thing I would really excited to pass on to you to talk about, to give my mouth a bit of a rest, is the Cairo media deal.
Yes, we're confirmed to be doing the official media for the WKF at the next Premier League in Cairo again. So they must have liked what we did in China, and that was only myself. So for those who didn't see me on the weekend or didn't chat about it. David couldn't make it because of visa issues, so it was left to me to do the whole scope of the WKF, and I think I knocked out pretty close, probably like 85% of what they were after, maybe even 90% by myself. It was tough, but it was the scope that I had to do, and obviously they liked it enough that now they've said, yep, we'll have this time 2 team members, so it will still be David and myself going to Cairo. We're still having a bit of not visa issues, but it definitely takes longer than we'd hope. We had to send our passports via mail, which is never a good feeling.
Oh,
But,
really?
Yeah, so because there's no Egyptian embassy in Perth or Adelaide. There's only in Sydney and Melbourne. I don't even know if there's one in Brisbane. So, and they need the physical passport as well, like the electronic PDF copy or
Like a
scanning document is not enough. Yeah, maybe they needed the chip.
And they got all that.
And I think they have to actually like place the visa in the passport, like it's a stick on or a print or something in the passport. So maybe that's why they need it physically. Either way, it did not feel good doing, but we've confirmed that they've got it.
Yeah.
And they're currently processing it, but they need to send it back.
Did you pay for express post bag?
Of course. Yeah. I paid for express post there, and it took. I sent it on Wednesday morning, like early morning, like 6 a.m. before my flight, and it arrived on Friday. So that was like two business days for it to arrive. So
Isn't that
I'm really hoping that they send it like today, it's now Wednesday at time of recording, or like tomorrow at the latest. But that's why I have my phone
Yeah, are
not
you
on
like
silent.
how are you like dealing with this stress?
It's a lot of stress.
Gee,
but it came through last time, and we don't need to speak anything more on it because there's no productive result
There's
to
nothing
this
you can do.
conversation.
It's wasted energy.
He's getting a bit antsy.
It's wasted
Yeah,
energy.
we'll
Yeah.
move on.
We
I
should
guess.
move on.
But as far as we know, we will be doing media in Cairo. So very excited to do that, and it'll be 2 team members this time. So one thing I'm especially looking forward to is this is going to be suggested, but I don't see why the WKF would say no to it. And we did discuss it a little bit in China, is that on final Sunday, my job will either be videography of a final or doing interviews after every single gold medal final with the winner, like immediately.
Yeah.
So Mitch said, you said you did this in Rabat once. It's literally like you walk off the tatami as a gold medalist and you go straight into an interview. And it's just a quick one, like a 2-3 minute one.
I think that's so good. Sport
Yeah.
needs that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I'm really excited to do, and I can only do that if I've got David there to help me. So it's only if it's a 2 team member sort of thing. I can't do it on my own. But
I can't imagine they'll say no to that.
No, I think they'd be, really, because that's the value that the WKF can get that other media companies and stuff cannot do.
Yeah.
Like they can't request athletes go straight into an interview. That's too much of they impose too much. But for WKF, that's exactly what you want to be doing as an organisation.
Yeah.
Super valuable content.
Very exciting. Let's get this passport back.
Yep.
Fingers and toes, guys. Fingers and toes. Everybody cross them.
Anyway, but yeah, keep an eye out for all of the social media stuff that we're posting on there, and the WKF will be. I think it's going to be so exciting, and I can't wait to compete there.
Yeah, you'd be super lonely if we weren't there, wouldn't you?
I
Mitch?
know. I would be going by myself. No one else is coming. No one wants to come to Cairo. What the hell?
You're hitting all the tournaments this year.
Well, it's just the Cairo one because it can't do Rabat. This will be the last Premier League for the year for me. So
Forget about that.
yeah, because Rabat is like the weekend before Oceania.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if all goes well, it'll be China twice and Egypt twice this year, because just got selected for the World Games.
Great segue. Good segue.
Well done, Mitch and Hannah.
And Hannah, yeah. So yeah, that's something I'm super proud of, and like it's a massive, I don't know, heartwarming achievement for myself and obviously Hannah as well. But for me personally, like seeing all of the Australian representatives compete at that event, like Maria Alexiadis, I'm pretty sure she medalled there. Like Sonari represented. I don't know if he got a medal, but yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Mark Golding, World Games silver medal.
World Games gold medal, no?
World Games gold. World Championship.
World Championship silver. World Games gold.
Daniel went to the last one. So yeah, it's just a super privilege to be able to represent, and because it's only 8 athletes from the division, it's going to be the Olympic format. So I'm super excited.
That's awesome.
It might
Well
even, I don't know if it would feel any different, but you're also representing your nation as a wider, like, sport, because it's a multi-sport event.
Yep.
You're an Australian within the Australian team doing a lot of different sports. So it doesn't feel like you're just representing like Karate Australia and Karate in Australia, you're representing Australia as a whole, which would be pretty cool to feel.
I just had a read of the bulletin as well. It's like full like athlete village, and you get meals like a buffet and all that sort of stuff like provided for you, like how it was for the University World Championships in 2018. So that is going to be super exciting. Yeah, and I can't wait. It's going to be nice going with Hannah as well, like WA representative as well. So full WA represent. I think it's pretty special.
No, that is awesome. Congratulations
Thank
to
you very
both of
much.
you.
Yeah, well done, absolutely.
Thank you. Got a few listener comments and questions to get through.
Which is great to see.
So-
I think the format of posting it on socials for people to ask is the way to go, because people always have their questions. They always ask them when we see them in person, but they never send them in via email or whatever. So I think social media is the way to go.
It's great to have so many
Yeah.
so many to choose from. So
So
thank
many.
you, everyone.
Just a quick one off the bat. Someone just mentioned, since we're talking about WA is the best culture from all the cheering from the WA folk, no matter which club, which athlete. So it's a bit of a...
Is this a statement or a question?
It's a statement. There's a few statements here.
Statement from a WA person.
Once another one. The culture and love in the veterans division is amazing. So that's always great to see from Torzo. What have we got here? What's the one? From the real Slim Sheedy, Chris Sheedy. He's a past competitor. Was there anything that happened over the weekend that made you wish a rule was changed?
Back on the referees, are we?
Now,
I don't know if we should let Mitch put in on this conversation before he digs.
Yeah. Apparently you got bombarded by referees a little bit at the championships.
I'm going to stay out of this.
But rule changes.
Yeah, rule change. I mean, I think our rules are okay at the moment. Maybe some few tweaks here and there. Like, this has nothing to do with referees. This is the rules, right?
Yeah.
I think it just always brings it back to the Wakarate rule, that we need to clean that up. It's the newest rule, like you said, and it just needs to be a few little things I think are a bit of grey areas in the Wakarate. For example, in the last 15 seconds, when they say Wakarate, you can burn like 3 seconds. That's rubbish.
Yeah.
And not listen to it.
Well, that's another thing on top of that. So if you've got Senshu and you say Wakarate and you don't move back and you don't listen, Yame, and it's a shushing warning for not listening, but it's not straight to Hansoku Chui Senshu Toramasen. It's just one
To me,
chui.
this stands out a lot because it's just the last 15 seconds is very gameable in Kumite fights. There's a reason why the step out has gone to Hansoku Chui, you lose Senshu if you're stepping out. So I think, I don't know, I'm not saying I would encourage, but athletes and coaches could easily be saying, go in for the clinch, delay going out when you've been told to separate, because between a Wakarate will take 2 to 3 seconds, but if you then delay that, you're taking 5 or 6. Do that twice to get 2 warnings, and you've burnt the 15 seconds.
Yep.
No, great. It makes it, yeah, you can definitely take advantage of the rules, and we're not condoning this behaviour at all. But another one, this is even worse than the one you said, John. Like, if you're in the corner, you just kick them below the belt. Go back to the centre, get a contact warning. No Hansoku.
That is literally below the belt.
Yeah, no Senshu Toramasen. And then you start from the middle of the tatami again.
Is that the same thing for a one of these ones? Is that a delay of game?
I don't think so. I think it's
like you could also just punch them past the head.
Yeah.
That's just another exchange, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could apply this to so many, but the Wakarate seems to be at the moment, because it's the newest rule, it just seems very gameable. It doesn't quite fit in.
The principle is great. Like, there was a time in karate where there was too much in the clinch and nobody was grabbing, nobody was pushing, but nothing was happening. So and they used to have to say Yame, bring him back to the line, reset the entire thing. This Wakarate means that the match can continue, but the idea is that you separate immediately and you start fighting immediately.
Yeah.
So there's no break in action, but athletes are taking advantage of the rule, and rightly so, because it's within the rules to do so. So
Forever, that'll be how it works. Athletes will always find a way, and
Yeah.
coaches will always find a way to exploit the rules because that's just sport.
That is sport, yeah. You're trying to win. The rules are there to make the fairness, and then athletes and coaches operate. Or you just get rid of Rakawate in the 15, but I don't know if that goes back to a clinching problem or
Well, then if you immediately clinch without showing signs of,
just have to stop the fight, I guess.
yeah, stop the fight, and it's immediately
A pushing.
a pushing. I would,
Yeah, I think so.
I would suppose
Yeah.
without
No-
action.
yeah.
If you're
Nothing
coming to the
sounds
clinch
pretty.
and you're, but then you can argue like I'm defending from the clinch.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's just so
So,
many
so,
things.
so that's a rule that we'd like to see cleaned up maybe a little. Don't know how to do it, but good luck, WKF.
Yeah.
Another one's probably the referee being the only one to be able to decide warnings and stuff. I definitely saw some decisions on the weekend that maybe they were incorrect, but it's only the referee to blame. Like the referee is the only one who can make that decision, and it's a high pressure situation. We're only human. You can make mistakes in that high pressure situation, but if it falls on you, like you would like to see there be a backstop for a wrong decision where maybe the referee comes back to the table, the tatami manager discusses with them or something. It's not a thing that's seen on world level because they can actually video review if they're not sure, and especially in those high pressure situations, they can video review a pushing warning or a grabbing warning or any that sort of decision from a referee. But nationally, in Australia, it all falls on the referee, and that's a lot of responsibility. You'd like to see a bit of a backstop there.
So previously, it was the judge's responsibility to award points and then also support the referee if there was a warning.
The support's good. I like the support.
There's the argument that they say, well, now we just have taken all of the thought process of a warning out of the judge's hands and they just focus on points. That's all they do. And to give them more brain power and less responsibility. So now you're asking them to think of warnings as well. Is it much to think about? Who knows?
Yeah. It's really tricky.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it is because, like, if you're in the clinch and then you're grabbing and then like a two-handed takedown, let's give a two-handed takedown as an example. If you're a judge, you do not score it because you believe it's grabbing. Therefore, it's not a score. But you've identified the fact that it was grabbing in that process. So if the referee asks for grabbing, you can support them, or if they, I don't know, say pushing,
That's what we went away from.
you
right?
don't support them on that because you believe it's grabbing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like the idea of supporting and getting your judges to back you up.
I'm sure there's some way to do it. There's a solution for everything, but it's hard to put all the responsibility on the referee. That's a lot of
And it's so hard with all
responsibility.
these rule changes. I just had a thought, and it's like would be an even bigger one. But I think half the problem with the fighting when it gets that close is there's no scoring opportunity, and so that's why there's a problem at the moment of like people going close. Just once you've locked down the takedown and blocked it, if there was a scoring opportunity from that close, but there isn't by the rules really, I think that would solve some of the dilemma because then you'd be like, I can get scored on from this type of technique.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like a old school back fist type thing.
Right.
Whereas at the moment, because you can score when you're close, but it's much more limited, right? Practice with the distance timing.
harder.
And so it shuts down the fight. And if there's no offensive capabilities, I just think it's not a fight. It's not a live fight in that situation. And that's part of the problem.
Yeah. Well, world problems on this one. We got one more. Oh, just touching on here, Caden sent a message in for cadets to under 21s. Are you still able to get selected for Oceania if you didn't medal in the event? I hope that we answered your question with listing off the whole team. So sorry if you didn't get a medal and you wanted selection, but that's just hopefully it answers your question.
Yeah, you've got to apply for being in that selection pool. But if you don't get selected, there is a reason because of like only 2 can be selected. So maybe it's gold and silver, bronzes can't be. Maybe if a silver doesn't elect themselves, then yes, you can get a spot.
Yeah.
There's always a decision behind the selection process, but I mean, getting medals increases your chance, but it doesn't guarantee you anything.
We had a message in from Tegan. Interesting how there was a spectacle / separate time for everyone to watch the Senior Open Kumite finals, but not for the Kata.
This is something we'd like to see changed, I think.
And generally the coverage of Kata isn't as ideal.
Yeah, isn't as it's not as celebrated as Kumite, but it should be at the same time. I would like to see. I'm a big fan of Finals Sunday. I think it should be more of a standalone event. I know it's hard with scheduling, but even this opportunity, Aus Open had an opportunity to save the gold medal final for the male and female Open Kata, get them to compete on the Sunday with the other Open female male kumites.
They did it for Nationals last year.
Yeah.
It was a great spectacle.
Yeah. I think Kata's always the one that gets skimped out. Like, I've never been to an event. Sometimes they're equal, but you've never been to an event and you go, oh, Kumite was a bit hard done by here.
Yeah.
It's always Kata. Kata was a little bit neglected, put in the corner.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's been a problem for decades.
The scheduling definitely allowed for us to have all 4 finals, 2 kumite, 2 katas on the Sunday and make it a bit more of a spectacle than it was. But the kumite was definitely a spectacle at the end.
Yeah.
You know, the male and female, they had the one tatami running and the whole crowds were sitting around them. So it would have been nice to see that for Kata as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of finals. I think we should do it.
Let's do it.
Kata, all the medals.
All the medals?
For the men's open, women's open.
Right.
I think bronzes is worth
It
doing.
would be good to see the bronzes as well.
But
interesting.
Either bronzes, either all the medals across the board or just the gold medal bout across the board for the
senior open.
For the opens, yeah.
Yeah, minimum of gold, but we would like to see bronzes as well, for sure.
Well, those are our requests. But I also think it's a great thing for the spectacle for like the fans watching.
Makes perfect sense from all angles, all parties.
You get more people wanting to stay on a Sunday at the end after a big tournament.
Yep.
It is a spectacle. You leave the tournament on a high.
I mean, it was still a great tournament though. Like the way that it was laid out, it was still a fantastic event.
Yeah.
I love the Aussie Open. And
but take note, South Australia for nationals. We want to see
Finals.
we want to see final Sunday.
All right, well, not much else to talk about. I mean, we've talked about quite a bit this episode, so it's a bit of a long one. But there's a few things coming up in the next couple of months that we will be chatting about. And thanks for writing in all of your comments and questions. We will definitely ambition.
No.
We will, whatever. We'll get to it.
we'll ambition some more.
What's the word I'm thinking of? We will endeavour. Sorry, my bad. Endeavour to get all of them. All right. Yep. As always, please let us know your thoughts and opinions and anything you'd like us to chat about. We are an organisation for you. Send us an email at kaizenculture.info@gmail.com or even just send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. Please visit the website kaizenculture.org and just simply have a chat to us. As always, thank you very much. Thank you, lads.
It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.